Now if I go over here. Okay. You go to the stream so you can read all the comments and stuff. And
right there.
And I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna copy the URL. And I'm gonna put it in the Discord, dude.
No way.
At everyone, we're streaming, boys. Edit message. Boom. Send now. All right, cool. Well, hello there, fellow human. All in one word. That's silly. Xenophobia. Xenophilia. Hello, my dude, bro. What's going on? Henlo. Dude, did you guys know that Skeepadoop has arrived? Alright. So, you guys are so used to me being like 30 minutes late, but now we're 7 minutes early, baby.
Oh, man. The world is right again.
The world is our oyster, and I love oysters.
Do you?
No. Well, actually, no. I actually really do like oysters.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't like spaghetti, though. So, in case you're new to these streams, my name is Cree, and I got my boy Webb over here. He's my brother.
I'm the Webb.
He's the Webb. He's Webb. And what we do in these streams is we start off with a prompt for a silly, goofy, intelligent, sapient alien species. And then we use that prompt and we develop a bunch of lore. And then in my Discord server and so on, we develop the lore into like an actually full-blown world-building project. Today, that prompt
is.
Do you even know the prompt, Web?
No.
That's silly.
You're silly.
Fish people.
Oh, I know the prompt. Never mind.
So we're going to have a fully aquatic alien species. They don't actually have to be fish. They can be like... Someone in my Discord server was talking about... what are those weird worms? They're like Bimbus worms.
No, it's a bird.
I don't know. But, like, so, I mean, there's, like, they could be an aquatic worm or, like, a weirdo starfish-looking thing, as long as they're fully aquatic and not space dolphins. We're not doing space. What I really want, what I think would be cool, is if they're, like, itty-bitty, like the size of, like, a human hand or something. Like a little, like, tropical fish type of vibe.
You know what, Cree?
What?
That's what you want? That's what you should do.
I think so, too. What's everybody saying so far?
They're saying fish indeed, not way too bridges too. And low, good vibes and low. Smart aliens, fish. Oh no, Oko. I love fish. Fish indeed. Watching this one vibing on my campus. Good. Aquatic T-Rex.
Aquatic T-Rex.
Pisca sapiens.
Pisca sapiens.
Oh, idea, says a big freaking lizard. Don't tell me what the idea is.
Dude, tell me the idea, big freaking lizard.
The filter feeders? Maybe a fruit that walks. That's me. Come on. I could see them being in an ice-covered world with the ocean below the surface.
Dude, that's actually what I was thinking too. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was thinking, like, basically, like, once upon a time it was an ocean planet, but now there's like 1 million miles of ice all over the top of it, and then all this is ocean. Like, that's the actual planet. I spelled planet wrong.
You idiot.
And then this is ocean, and this is a ton of ice. And then, like, way over here, they have an itty-bitty little sun that's bad at its job.
Horseshoe crab. Small, hive-minding, coral-dwelling fish. A trap-setting pack hunter, white arm like tongue.
Wait, what
a trap-setting pack hunter with an arm like a tongue.
With an arm like a tongue.
Paleozoic seed world. That'd be cool.
Paleozoic seed world. We're not doing seed worlds today. I like the idea of an arm like a tongue.
Since the aliens can't make fire, they should use hydrothermal vents.
That's also a good idea.
What about alien species that are similar to those sea creatures that come together to form this bigger creature? Like Europa? Yeah, like Europa.
Like Europa?
Blobfish
as in the planet, not as in stuff that comes together to make a bigger creature.
Yeah. Captain Quebec string.
Oh yeah, I'm Captain Quebec.
You are?
Yeah, they decided I was Canadian and French.
Ugh.
Right?
So are they going to be blind?
I don't know. Well, I don't think so. They could be, because I mean, they could have. Well, maybe like the ice isn't like actually all that thick, and they can still like some sunlight gets through it.
Yeah.
And they could also like develop bioluminescence and be able to see that way.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's like. Maybe they live around like a hydrothermal vent and they get light from that somehow. I don't know how hydrothermal vents work.
Yeah.
I don't think they're blind though. Well, I don't know anything about them yet.
I feel like that idea is similar. Isn't there a movie or a real planet like this? There's a moon of Jupiter called Europa, and it's exactly like that. There probably aren't smart fish people underneath it.
Probably not. No.
I want a seaweed abuse predator.
Wait, what a seaweed abuse partner?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Maybe a sea slug. I do like the idea of a sea slug. Also, something else that I wanted that I thought would be kind of cool is if they were kind of like, they don't actually have to look like anglerfish, but if they were like anglerfish in the fact that the females were like big boys and then the males were just like little sperm banks that attach to them and they reproduced that way. But the males were still like, and because of that, the males were kind of like herded like livestock, but the males were still intelligent, like they were still fully sapient.
Yeah.
So it was just like an unfair like situation type of thing going on.
He admitted to being one of them. Canadian flag, maple leaf, hockey puck, pancakes.
Oh no.
Would they ever be able to leave the giant ice layer, or would they be like the other species in which they just think the ocean they live in is the entire universe?
That's kind of what I was thinking about. There was I got a comment in one of my Discord things that was like talking about how it's weird that all the aliens I make all develop space travel, and it's like, well, first of all, I've only done 2, so calm down a little bit. But I mean, yeah, I don't think every alien would become like every intelligent alien would become a spacefaring.
Yeah.
So I think, well, I mean, it depends, but I don't think this one will be spacefaring.
Morse code and blinking bioluminescence. Make settlements around hydrothermal vents and filter feed off them.
I like that idea a lot.
I don't know that filter feeding would be a thing that intelligent animals do because it doesn't take a lot of brain power.
No,
if you're
it doesn't.
a filter feeder, you're going to be selected to be decent at opening your mouth real life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's any selection process.
Well, I mean, whales are smart, aren't they? Aren't whales smart?
It's true. That's true. Yeah, but I think they were smart because they're hunters, and then some of them
became filter feeders. So I like the idea of them being just little guys that live inside of coral reefs, and I like the idea of them living around hypothermal vents. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And inside of a planet that doesn't have like a lot of heat from the sun, that would make sense that like massive coral reefs would kind of develop around the thermal vents. They like make like big old reefs around them. I think that makes sense to me. They live inside of those.
I think they should think that the universe is just their world, but then some other intelligent species starts mining their planet and eventually accidentally finds them. It's cool. Though I think that if they ever broke the ice, like UV radiation would get down into the ocean and give them all cancer.
Probably so, yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on... Well, yeah, because they would be adapted for exactly as much sunlight as they get, like, no matter what amount that is.
Exactly.
So even if they had, like... Even if they were around, like, a brown dwarf or something that gave off basically no heat, even that amount of UV radiation would probably give them cancer.
Yeah. Pretty wacky.
It's pretty goofy, pretty silly. I'll start drawing something.
He wants to become smart enough to artificially make thermal vents to expand. I don't know how you make an artificial thermal vent, but I like the idea.
I do like the idea, yeah. I don't know how you do it, though. Well, I mean, maybe they just, like... I mean, could you, like, just start drilling holes and stuff? and find lava?
No.
I don't know if that's how that works. I'm gonna start drawing something. I'm just gonna start, and we're gonna see what happens.
I like thinking about all the ice being taken, but okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that they don't take all of the ice; they just find some of it.
Yeah.
Well,
There's just a little cancer hole, but the rest of it, they're fine.
I'm just drawing something, and then we can. I like the idea of them having tongue arms.
What if they had a horn to drill through tough coral, rock, and ice? You can narwhal, but more.
Like a narwhal, but more.
Well, I imagine the drilling he meant like with tools. I don't imagine they drill with their head.
Yeah, probably not.
That'd be kind of cool, but it'd be a weird thing to adapt. This animal adapted to make new thermal vents.
This animal adapted to make new thermal vents. One thing, I mean, someone was said like tool breeders too, but they are going to be tool breeders too, though, is the thing. I mean, not necessarily, but I don't want them to have any like electric or mechanical technology because they evolved in the ocean, and they're fully aquatic. But I don't. So obviously, the simplest explanation for how they have technology is that they just bred it, like they just did what the tool breeders did, basically. But if we come up with,
or they get to like the copper age and stagnate.
well, I don't know how. I mean, but then they would just have mechanical technology. It's just all made out of copper. Or or they're just like
the copper age, copper. It was you just big copper with a rock until it looked like you wanted it to look like. You just like cold welded it or cold hammered it.
Okay,
so you're not gonna make like computers out of copper.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I also
like
want.
That.
I mean, just in general, I want like all of these different alien species to have like different eras, and just like in the way that they look and the way that like their technology and stuff looks, you can tell which era they're in. That's kind of been my goal for the whole thing. But if they stagnate at the copper age, you can't really have that.
It's fair.
But if we come up with something that isn't genetic modification, or like that isn't like super advanced breeding for their technology, but also isn't electrical or mechanical, then I'm all for it.
What if they use the horn to drill through tough coral, rock, and ice? You can learn a little bit more.
You already read that one.
If they live near the hydrothermal vents, then they could farm some kind of coral for food. Yes.
I like that idea.
Horns digging holes in the ice, maybe like a shovel or something.
So what would be above the ice that they would want?
I don't know. Maybe they're on the ice itself for some reason.
But also, I mean, the prompt is fully aquatic. If they're going above the... Well, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be going on top of the ice for them to go through it.
Scraping little bits of it at the bottom. Just during the stream, what's the goal of this alien? Fully aquatic.
Fully aquatic, intelligent species.
What if it's a bunch of ring-shaped insects forming a spongy material like fire ants? I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
A bunch of ring-shaped...
Caveman mentality but underwater. That was my suggestion, but he hates it.
I hate it so much.
What if they're like just all mouth in a way, kind of like a clam has its eyes and everything inside of its mouth?
Oh, that's really cool.
And such so they just have everything inside of the mouth. It's constantly open. I just joined what's today's prompt idea: aquatic aliens. I know it's a dumb idea, but I just wanted to share it. What's the dumb idea? Oh, the clam. It's a great idea.
I can't. Yeah, that's fun.
Hey, crew, I haven't been doing well. Hope this will cheer me up.
I hope so too, dude.
Geekazilla, we're here.
We're here for you, bro.
Gayakazilla?
I think, yeah. I think I pronounce it a different way every single time I see him.
Fair. The prompt is fish? Yes.
The prompt is fish, dude. Well, it's smart fish. It's not
Could
just
be
fish.
hyper-industrial using the hydrothermal vents. Thank you, people. Making the alien for an icy biome, basically. What if conflict arises between the different groups of them that live at different ocean levels? I'm going to name it watery. What if they swim like squids? Maybe they could tame orca or seal-like animals to crash through the ice and get critters above the water. Or octopi.
Wait, what was that last one?
Maybe the last one was or octopi. The one before it was maybe they could tame orca or seal-like animals that crash through the ice to get critters above it. But the thing is, like, a fish can't come above the water.
Yeah.
Well, that could be cool. They'd have to, like, send it, the seals, like, their voyage on, and then would have to do it all completely on its own. It's just, I guess, theoretically possible. People do that with dogs all the time, but...
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what would be above the ice that they want. Because, I mean, the way that, like, we've been describing it so far is, like, the world above the ocean is just kind of like a frozen hellscape.
Last night I made ChatGPT describe life on Europa. What did it say, my man? What about a cube fish that looks like ice, acts like an octopus, changing colors, and etc.? I don't know why it would need to look like ice, because I feel like maybe it would look like the sky, which I guess is kind of, sort of a thing. The counter shading. Give it a freaky tongue to manipulate stuff around it. Clamtopus.
That's exactly what I'm drawing right now. I'm drawing a clamtopus.
What if they form dense neurons touching each other, but they require a lot of energy, something they don't have? So the next stage of evolution is outside help. Like they're modified by some visiting alien? I mean, something like a jellyfish. Nest in its mouth like those tongue parasites.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe making an animal that looks like a jellyfish, so they could have extra appendage that could just drill into the ice of jellyfish, and then my favorite is animal. Have fish like dragons. Something in Arabic, but I don't speak Arabic.
Man, you should really learn how to speak Arabic.
Take is planned, I think.
Okay, I think what I'm going with right now is the idea of they're just like a big shell with stuff inside of the shell. I don't know how I'm going to draw it though. But I don't know if that's what the final design is going to be.
Make it kosher. Make it kosher. I have bad news that having it in a shell wouldn't make it automatically unkosher.
Oh no, it's not going to be able to be kosher.
Maybe they need to heat all the hydrothermal vents to survive, so they all adapt to different, maybe not species, but slightly different subspecies.
Like, so what I'm kind of thinking for like the habitat that they're going to be living in is they're living around a hypothermal vent, and they're living inside of a coral reef that develops on that vent. I think that's kind of the coolest idea I've been hearing so far.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they could be different subspecies because I mean every coral reef would be kind of different, right?
Yeah.
So they could be adapted slightly differently for each different coral reef.
Mm-hmm.
Concur. So assuming I do the clam, I kind of like the idea of the clamtopus, like they're a clam shell, and then it opens up and you have like these tongues that come out, and the tongues can act as like tentacles.
Gotcha.
Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. So
a few other ideas here too. If they can swim through the water, maybe they see bottom feeders, crab-like things below them, so being above the water is a symbol of status, such being intelligent. And then building on that, I don't think there's anything actually interesting above the ice. The only reason some are interested is because there's of religious or philosophical implications of the universe being so unknown.
I like that idea too.
Yeah.
So they have expositions above the ice, but it's just like
they find nothing.
Yeah, they don't really find anything.
Cool alien fish would be kind of like the flying fish that the alien herd like reindeer, without pieces of coral or something like that. The religions view above the ice as a holy land, similar to how we view heaven as in the clouds. I'm so traumatized by the baby kangaroos. Reginald.
So maybe we call him Reginald.
Like a nautilus?
Oh, kind of like a nautilus, yeah. Except they can go all the way into their shell, I think.
Transport between reefs by leeching onto migrating fish. Reginald. If they are on a thermal vent, wouldn't it make sense for them to have filter mouths? Hey, stop spamming my mouths. Reginald, okay. They could be able to communicate with one another by changing skin color like Earth cephalopods. Well, I don't know that they have enough light to do that. I think they'd have to be bioluminescent and change color of their bioluminescence.
Which could also be cool.
Can you change the color of your bioluminescence, or you just get that color?
Well, I mean, no, this isn't space.
This
is completely alien biology, dude.
It's true.
So I'm kind of thinking, I kind of like the idea of it being a little bit like a nautilus.
Mm. And they can, like, nautilus can go completely into its shell anyway.
Oh, can they really?
Yeah, because this sucks back into there, and just like closes up like a door.
Shelled squid. I want to look at like those old ancient squids. You know what I mean?
What are they called?
Whoa, that's cool.
What are those things called? The old squid with the shells from the make them able to throw pearls. Maybe they produce ink blots for writing, so all writing is very temporary, kind of like that movie with the aliens and the linguist.
I like this one.
Bacteria can get a small amount of iron and other metals. That they could farm sea slugs with those hair-like things that form bacteria. What do you think about the part of my idea for there to be a religious group that tries to deny the existence of the above because it goes against their religion. That's interesting too.
Deny the existence? Like there's just nothing up
You
there?
just drill through the ice. You just keep drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's also cool.
Hey, what's this? Making fish aliens?
We're making fish
This actually
aliens,
looks like
dude.
more like going to be a squid alien. Maybe they have a lot of extremely small mouths in their tentacles. It's like an andalite.
Kind of like did he really say like an andalite?
I said like an andalite, unfortunately.
Yeah, andalites don't have tentacles.
No, but they have arms. Wait, what if it was a Cameroceras-like creature with a massive shell? I do not know what Cameroceras is. Interesting idea. Maybe they could have different tribes for each biome that trade with each other, sort of like a big community. Because of that, there would be no sense of war. And it was more like a sapien elephant. Make them have a cape. Make them weaponize pearls.
Okay, I think I have a cool idea now.
Can someone give me an introduction to this? So we're making aliens that live on basically Europa.
So it's a planet. It's an ocean planet, and the entire surface is covered with like a thick sheet of ice. So all of the creatures live under the water, and they live around like hypothermal vents that are covered in like coral reefs.
Maybe don't give them eyes because it'd be tough for light to reach them down there. We agree, but also they might be bioluminescent.
So, or they have enough bioluminescent creatures around them that they have sort of like an ambient light.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm thinking right now, right? This thing I just drew here is a shell, and these are two holes inside of the shell. This one, the little eye, pops out and looks around.
Gotcha.
Right?
And they're cyclopses?
Maybe.
Gotcha.
I don't know yet. And then this one, it would be kind of cool if they were cyclopses, though. And then this one, the little tentacle tongues come out and look around. That's the idea that I have right now. And then when they're inside of the shell, they kind of look... I don't know, they probably look weird.
Religion idea, if you die, you have two options. If you're good, you float up to the stars and live as one of them, but if you're bad, you're trapped with a barren Earth surface. That's why you can't go above the ice. Well, how do they know what a star is? If they have shells, depending on how strong they are, maybe communities are considered very important for cleaning, maintenance, and repair of the shells.
Makes sense to me. I don't know, they're just kind of like snugged in there. I kind of like that idea, though. What do we think about this one?
I like it. You're getting snail vibes right now.
You
They
maybe
said
that's-
they won't do that. Well, they won't do what? Make him like a tool breeder. Oh, gotcha. We won't do that. We kind of will a little bit.
Well, that's actually exactly what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
I said I was going to do that unless somebody stopped me.
Dentistry communities. Those are called senior homes. Okay. Hey, is this your shell insurance? I'd like to renew it. And the religious zealot problem is only resolved kind of when they get above the ice.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like...
That kind of proves that there's something above the ice.
Yeah, you get up there and it's like, well, I guess we were wrong. Whoops.
People would lie about it. That people would say, oh, they just drove around a big swoop so they could come back down to the surface, and they said they found all this incredible stuff.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they can't go to other vents because they can't survive the cold, so they have different cultures and religions. It's like, I was thinking about aliens, but it's just their planet.
That's also cool. One thing I was thinking, if like, so I'm imagining there are like, out in the open ocean, there are animals that are adapted to just swimming out in the open ocean. So going between the different thermal vents would be dangerous because you could get eaten by like a giant, like to you, it's like a giant, massive, apocalyptic dragon. But to us, it's like a sea cow.
Yeah, exactly.
Because these guys, I think, are going to be really small.
Orca pet doesn't know about the stars. Well, the orca wouldn't know about the stars either because everything's under the ice.
Mm-hmm.
The orca can't get to the air, so the orca would have to be a... Orca's a bad term because it wouldn't be able to breathe. It would have to be a water-breathing critter. Are they born with their shells or do they find them? I think they're born with them. Or to grow them at some point.
Yeah. I think they're probably just born.
Love that we haven't figured out the very basic anatomy of these dudes, and the chat is already fleshing out their religion and culture.
Yeah, right? Me too. They're coming up with the cool ideas, though.
Yeah. 2 small holes around the shell to jet water out, so you can move quickly.
I like that idea, too.
Squid land traversal mech suit controlled by color recognition.
Controlled by color recognition?
What about whale falls? Are they dead gods? If if the sea cow is an ancient dragon of some beast,
Absolutely,
if one dies
dude.
and falls to the surface, definitely a dead god.
That's definitely a dead god. That's awesome.
Design a predator species that farms them for food. Oh no! They use the vent for smelting.
That could make sense.
Maybe not orca pet, maybe ice mole things. So the ice mole things can wiggle their way all the way up to the surface world, and there's nothing there for them, but they can get there, like to escape predators or something. That makes sense, I guess, but I don't think they would tell the cephalopod that's up there. Like if your dog was the only thing that had ever seen a star, it wouldn't tell you about stars.
Yeah, that's so true. I love the idea. I think so. We were talking about different like subspecies that were adapted for different like specific coral reefs.
Yeah.
One that's adapted for like living in a whale fall would be awesome, dude.
Yes. Smelting, belting, venting, smelting instead of fire. Yes. They kind of look like cannonballs. Maybe they attack rival corals by covering themselves in armor, tucking their tentacles in, and firing themselves into the reef.
That's crazy.
And then once they're fired into the reef, they like pull their swords out.
Dude, that's like those like old daredevils from like the 1920s that shot themselves out of cannons. It's like that, but for war.
Is shell hard skin? Shell is. It depends. Some things shells, like the exoskeleton of insects, is basically just hard skin. But like a crab shell, it's mineral. It's like a rock that they take out of the surrounding water.
Turtles also just have hard skin, don't they?
It's true, yeah. Shooby-dooby. Weaponize the pearls. What if they are eusocial? That'd be cool, but you don't think they are. I think eusocial alien would be a different thing.
Yeah, I think eusocial alien's a cool enough prompt to have it be its own deal.
My dog talks about the stars all the time. Well,
dude, I think you should lay off the drugs, man.
Consider me corrected. On the note of alien sea creatures, have you seen South Scrimshaw? The Bry whales are such a cool concept. I've not seen it.
You haven't?
No.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, should I see it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just it's a video game, but I just watched the Curious Archives about it.
Okay, gotcha. Give their tongue tentacles 5 digits so they can do a thumbs up. So true.
I'm just gonna give this one that we're drawing for the stream has been horribly mutated. This isn't what they usually look like.
Okay.
But he has a thumbs up.
What if the shells are kind of like fused plates, like how skulls are? So when they're first formed, they're kind of dumb and floppy, and each individual would have a unique fuse pattern, kind of like a fingerprint.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of looks like a coconut. Very true.
Dude, it does kind of look like a
Tame
coconut.
some animal like those ice worms from Subnautica to break the ice. I feel like they wouldn't be as focused on breaking the ice as you guys are making it out to be.
Yeah.
Because the ice is like, how long did humans survive before we decided to break the sky? We never did.
At least 1,950 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think that they'd be that focused. I think that would be like, I like the idea of the religious zealots putting a lot of effort into breaking the ice, but like regular civilians probably wouldn't care and would probably see the churches like spending all that money to do it as like a waste of resources.
Yeah. Maybe their children attach to their mother's shell and grow their shells while feeding from what's basically an umbilical cord. So everyone has a flat or concave side in their shell and they're attached to their mom.
That's cool too. I like that.
Give them weapons on the tentacle. Like biological weapons, or like they can hold spears. What if their shells were actually mollusk-like life forms that form a symbiosis with the octofount?
That's
Imagine
cool.
them to say octopus. How do they speak?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Wait.
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 Chemotrophs could live above the ice if the atmosphere is right. Then the moles could dig to eat them, and the orcas could eat the moles, and they could tame the orcas. I guess that's theoretically possible.
I mean, I kind of like. I don't know if we're gonna get into that in the video, but I kind of like that food chain there.
It is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like little itty bitty little things that evolve that sort of appear on the surface, and then the mole creatures go up and eat them, and then the moles are hunted by stuff in the ocean.
Maybe whites or bubbles or touch. I don't know. Oh, for how they speak? Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
Them speaking with bubbles is kind of cute.
Is this an orbital with tentacles? Yes.
What's an orbital? This?
Orbital is a Q2 electric boogaloo.
Oh, no, that's a gravital.
Oh, yeah, right. It is what I meant. If the shells are patterned, maybe they use ink from some creature, either themselves or something domesticated, to tattoo the shells.
I like that idea too.
Maybe there could be some sea animal that they have a symbiotic relationship with, like it helps them travel the ocean by hiding them in its mouth or something, and they keep parasites away. Give them meat slicers. Make them colony creators. I think they should have spiky shells.
I think the kind of shells that they have just depends on which subspecies they are.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be all sorts of different kinds of shells, but this is just
most basic form.
Yeah.
Meat slicers are cool.
Like a knife?
The guy you're drawing looks like an Oscar. If not the ice thing, possibly some sort of water-breathing whale thing to latch onto, like barnacles, to get between reefs.
I also like that.
For their communication, what about what DCU did with Martian? Mind reading and stuff? Mind reading, we'd have to have a biological explanation for how they read minds.
Well, I mean, like, don't ants kind of do that? I mean, that would make them eusocial, which I don't want them. I don't want these guys to be eusocial.
Yeah, well, they just smell each other's pheromones.
Okay, well, maybe they just smell each other's pheromones.
Use the vents for the fire use as IRL. Maybe they have a debilitating fear of the dark because of the predators in the ocean.
I like that. That's really cool.
Most creatures that are small and cute in any way, I have to say, is a Jeremy. How long is stream delay?
I don't know. Like, it's usually 20 seconds, I'm pretty sure.
Make them the Q.
Okay, got it.
How do they dispose of their bodily wastes? They don't. You can make their outer shells make planets. They would, like, just by coincidence, because they wouldn't make it look like a planet, because they don't know planets are.
They've never seen a single planet.
When I say meat slicers, I want tentacles that are able to slice things. Oh, so like bladed tentacles? Basically biological knives. Okay, exactly.
Okay.
They could have bioluminescent piss. Or ink. They can move it around and speak in 3D. And then taste and smell the language.
The author's barely disguised fetish.
Yeah, everyone has different shells. I hope that doesn't result in shell racism. It will definitely result
It'll absolutely result in shell racism.
Kind of like stingers, but not venomous. Okay, so that's your slicers. Their name is Reginald. We know. And don't forget the sea slug bacteria metal things. Yeah, the sea slug bacteria metal thing makes sense. Have you seen the, it's like the iron side snail or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's where they can get their iron.
It's from stuff like that?
They, like, farm that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Oscar here looks like he makes art out of dead starfish or something. Maybe their blood is bioluminescent to warn others around them if they die or get hurt.
Oh, that's cool.
What about reproduction? Would they farm algae? I'm not racist. I have a round-shelled friend.
I have a round-shelled friend. Okay.
Farming kelp. What about... We're going to try to make them biologically possible before we decide if they're culture much more, because the culture is going to be a little bit resultant
of their biology.
Of
their biology, yeah. I kind of like this design though.
I'm liking them. Do they have any predators? Yes.
They have so many predators, dude. Yeah, I think they're itty. Like I said, I think these guys are tiny. So like anything that's bigger than it is a predator. Okay, yeah, I kind of like these vibes.
Although the idea of them being so similar to how humans are with shell racism and religious zealotry is an interesting concept as a comedic commentary on our own culture and history. Yes, I'm racist. I hate those guys with tall shells.
Dude, for real. Tall people suck.
Do they have any predators? We just talked about how everything is a predator. Are they herbivores, omnivores, or carnivores? Probably carnivores. Pretty much everything in the ocean is a carnivore. Oceanic food webs are way different. For the bioluminescent ink thing, the color can be determined by their diet and location.
That's cool.
Now there's ink racism. Race can be determined by the shape of their shells. Yes. Farming coral. Hi from Finland. Hi Finland, I'm Webb.
Yo Finland, what's up?
For a form of communication, maybe their version of sign language, they could use their tentacles to make complicated shapes that mean different things. Maybe they don't have a through gut, like a jellyfish. One way in and out the same way. I hate that, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's an omni hole.
That is, I mean, that's the same thing we did for the yolks in the last video, which is fine. I mean, like, it makes...
Yeah, through guts aren't, like, the default, and then you have one that doesn't have a through gut.
Yeah.
If anything, through guts are the exception, and everything has a one-way gut.
Until otherwise specified.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like this design. I think he's cute.
How small are they exactly? Tennis ball.
Like, itty bitty. I'm
Red
gonna grab...
predators could be big gorillas that are under the sea. Hairy fish. Do they eventually make it out to space, or like do humans just find them? Mining their planet.
I kind of don't think either happens. I don't necessarily think humanity has to be a part of all of these alien stories.
I like to imagine their species wouldn't have houses, and they would furnish and decorate the inside of their shells. I don't know if they could see the inside of their shell. Like, I feel like it would be a bit
claustrophobic in there, Henny.
It'd be like decorating the inside of your eyelids.
I don't think it'd be quite that tight because look at how much room they have.
That's true, yeah.
But they have like this whole, like all that is empty right now.
But all of that would be used for like muscle attachment and stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably so.
You probably have muscles attached to that. So what these guys like in small summary, because I'm late.
Okay, so basically these guys they live inside of a planet-wide ocean. And the planet that they live on is really cold. So the entire surface of the ocean is just thick ice, right? And they live inside of the ocean. They live around these geothermal vents that have formed coral reefs around them because those are like the only hot spots in the ocean. So around the geothermal vents are like where most life is. And these guys live inside of those coral reefs. And they're basically like little squid-looking things that live inside of shells. And they have one hole for their eye, and then two holes, and then one hole on either side for their tentacles. Their tentacles are also their tongues and like mouths and stuff.
I want a plushie of him so I can throw him at passing cars.
He's a simple man. What can I say?
Some alien species break the ice and just finds millions of tiny religious zealots worshiping them.
That'd be pretty silly.
There could be a fleshy membrane like a bada wing or eardrum between the edges of the hole and the tentacles.
Wait, there should be what?
Like a skin membrane between the edges of the hole and the tentacles that come out. So you can't just like get into their shell.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
If they have mouths, give them those mouths with a lot of teeth. Male octopi have a certain tentacle used for reproduction by inserting it into the female. That's just kind of how a lot of things have a certain tentacle used for reproduction by inserting it into the female. They view R as giants. Yes.
They what?
They view R as gates.
Oh, okay.
Do they shed their shells? If not, how does it grow?
I don't know.
Blobfish is a fish that was very deep in the oceans.
It probably grows. I think it's probably a shell the same way that like turtle shell is a shell. Yeah. Like they just are the shell, so that's how it grows.
The blobfish is a fish that lives very deep in the ocean. In its habitat, it is a normal fish, but out of the water, it practically becomes a Minecraft villager. Would the same happen to them? Yes.
Yeah, actually, you're probably right.
It would their shell would do the same, but their body would ooze out the side.
So those zealots that are trying so hard to get up into the above the ice would just die, probably.
Yeah, Europa type beat, exactly. They could be huge due to the phenomenon of abyssal gigantism.
They're not.
Okay. Kind of like a squid inside a donut, no offense. Base, no offense taken.
No offense taken, bro. I love that. And I want them to be, and just so I make this part clear, I want them to be itty bitty because I want like the sizes of the aliens in these videos to be very like diverse, right? Because like the Junes and the Harlows are a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller than people respectively, but they're still like human scale. And then I think the yolks are like absolutely massive, like 12 feet tall. And then these guys, I want to be like itty bitty.
Yeah.
Like I put this hand here for scale, by the way, in case that wasn't clear enough.
And I'm wondering what kind of jewelry they have. Do they attach it to the shell or like the body inside? What would it look like? Imagine they attach to the shell because like every other part of the body can go inside the shell. Mm-hmm. And if they had like a bracelet on, that would restrict their ability to retract.
Yeah, they'd probably do it on the.
They speak with color. Europa aliens. So many cool ideas. I pressed send earlier. Whoops. Maybe the radioactive aliens you made could start to mine their planet, and the war to stop them is how they reach space. What's their life expectancy? I imagine not very long because they're so small. Aw. I think the shell would grow in soft plates that would fuse together like a human skull would.
Yeah, someone was talking about how they fused.
Yeah, and then a human skull just keeps growing once it's fused. So that's how they would grow.
I think the skulls are basically just bone. The
I
shells are
imagine they
basically
live
just
for
bone.
20 to 35 years. That's pretty old for an animal size, so I like it. My advice on how to cook them, or any advice on how to cook them?
So they're not kosher. So if first of all, if there's anybody that's Jewish that wants to eat them, they can't.
As soon as it's Jewish in the chat, you can just leave.
Yeah, you guys can leave right now because this is going to turn into the alien cooking show.
Yeah.
So do you think? Okay, this is a completely different question.
I want to throw one and smash it on the concrete. Jeez, you people are psychotic.
If we found like aliens and stuff, right? And they were intelligent as we are, would we consider eating them cannibalism? Because it's not biological cannibalism, but it's eating another intelligent being. So, like, whatever laws there are for cannibalism inside of any given culture, do you think they would just be carried over, like, basically exactly the same to other intelligent species? Whenever
my take is no cannibalism being zero numbers, which I agree with, although I do think it would still be morally wrong.
I know that's what the literal definition of cannibalism is, but like I'm asking more of like, would that word still be used for that, or would we make a different crime that's like, oh, you did sophalism or something? I don't know. You ate a sophant. But yeah, you are right, because that is the actual literal definition of cannibalism.
You don't call eating a monkey cannibalism.
But they're not sophant.
Yeah, if there was a species of monkey that's as smart as we are, that wasn't us, because there's a species of monkey that's as smart as we are. Same question about reproducing. Well, it would be biologically impossible, but I don't think it'd be ethically wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because, I mean, the problem, like, the bestiality is a crime because the animal can't consent.
Killing them would be murder, but eating them would not be cannibalism. I agree.
Okay, sure. That makes sense, I guess. Okay, so I like this design. I like what someone was talking about where the babies sort of, like, grow on the outside of the shells.
I feel like any person that wanted to eat them would claim they're slightly dumber than humans and say they're eating a parrot. Even if that wasn't necessarily true. Imagine being allowed to eat alien species that your species is not like. Would they have sports?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant eating sophants feels wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Eating sophants does feel wrong.
It could count as murder and mutilation of the corpse, though, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Make them very social, even more than humans.
They might be. I don't know. Right now, I'm mostly just focusing on the biology, but like I like a lot of the ideas you guys. I love the idea of them trying to like mine above the ice and not finding anything. At most, finding like little mole things. That's fun to me.
Yeah.
But for right now, I like the idea of the young like forming on the shell somehow.
Killing an endangered species. They only live on one planet.
That's so real.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. So I was talking about this earlier, but I still like this idea. So this, if we go with the idea I'm about to propose to y'all, this would be a female, right?
Yes, they do have sports, but ironically, they never made ball-based sports, so the concept of baseball is horrifying.
I like that idea too. Because like they're a ball, so they see like bowling and baseball and
they watch bowling and they like
cringe.
They cry.
They're like, no, what are they doing?
Like to scare their little kids, they like tell them stories of people who roll balls down courts.
So this would be like
they go on dates and they watch like ESPN And it's a horror movie, and he like has his arm around his girlfriend. He's like, "It's okay, babe.
It's okay, babe. It's all gonna be all right. I won't let those."
Bowling is the death penalty.
Strike.
It would be dangerous for the young. They could shoot out the tentacles and flick on.
So I think.
I see. So today's alien is what if ball.
What if ball? I mean,
It's easier to in space because they live in the sea. We ballin'. Also high.
So this is what I'm thinking. All right. So a male over here, I haven't designed the male, but I don't think it's going to really look anything like this. Mm-hmm. And it attaches to the female shell. It would probably be like a... So I don't really know. But I mean, if this is just a skull, then the whole thing is its body, so this is fine. So it kind of like breaks through the shell, right? And then fuses with her. And then as...
You don't sleep with the fishes, you roll with the pins.
You don't sleep with the fishes, you roll with the pins. Unbelievable.
So the male fuses to the shell.
And then somehow develops a little baby. Probably in a similar way as like a seahorse, in which...
Or the male fuses to the shell. Gives the fuse like an anglerfish does, and it just like completely dissolves away from the sperm bank.
Yeah.
And so the male functionally dies.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hollowed out shell is what's left.
Mm-hmm.
And that's used to hold the eggs.
Okay, so...
And then that hollowed out shell bulb pops, and all the eggs come out.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, that's cool.
If they ever do go to space, what their spacesuits look like, we don't even know what their bodies look like.
We don't know what their bodies look like, Henny.
The real question is if they would have Netflix. The answer is definitely yes.
Yeah, but it would be called... It wouldn't be called Netflix because they're afraid of nets.
Yeah.
So basically, inside of this shell is like the little male. It's a man, and he fuses in just like his body just like liquefies as he's impregnating the woman, and then the embryo goes up into this.
So a woman who had many pregnancies would be covered in little pot marks.
Would be covered a couple, little pot marks, exactly. And then
I was waiting for half an hour. What did I miss?
And then the shell breaks, and the new babies come out.
You still think the babies going on the outside would be too dangerous? Have one tentacle is turned into the womb, and when we grow up, are popping. Well, the babies being on the outside of the shell would still be inside of a shell. They'd be inside the male's former shell.
Yeah. So
the males are likely not Sophin then.
No, the males are Sophin, I think.
It's like a sacrifice thing.
Well, I think that in like ancient Greek where like women were property. It's like that, but like way, way, way worse.
Gotcha. I will call them William.
William? Yeah, I think the males are Sophin.
I think they should be a species that use all animals on the planet as people, so that when they contact other species, they repel the idea of pets, as they see it as slavery. Not this species, though. Worst Sophin species to be born as, if you're a dude, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have a 50% chance of being a sacrificial... I almost said sacrificial sacrifice.
That's really dumb.
What?
I'm going to leave you.
You're going to leave me for why?
Of reasons.
Okay.
Never wants to talk to me.
Well, dude, tell her 20 minutes.
There's no timing. Timing won't work. Sorry.
Unbelievable. Can you believe this guy?
On the road, guys. Sorry.
This guy sucks.
Toodaloo. I love you all.
Okay. So... Got it. Okay. Maybe it's a great honor to die for the bloodline is highly religious event. Could be. So, I mean, yeah, like the guy that was talking about how having them on the outside would be too dangerous. It's not really... So this is like... like a regular one, and then a pregnant one would basically just have a little extension of their shell that's up here. Right? Like this is all still shell. That whole thing is that little growth. And then inside of that little growth, are the little embryos. And then I don't really know. Give them whisk tattoos. They don't have a concept of man and women's. Wait, what they believe in. So maybe males are just not fully grown females. I don't like the implications of that. But so, hold on. So what they believe in, we don't really know for sure yet. A lot of people, since they live underneath a frozen ocean, a lot of people were talking about religious movements that are trying to get above the ice, and find some great beyond up there, like basically find heaven above the ice. So that's what a lot of people, but like I don't know. So that's what they believe in. They believe that there's something above the ice, but I don't really know what the I don't know what it is that they actually believe in up there. What they believe is actually up there. What I meant by not fully grown is that their growth is stunted. Okay, so basically, okay, that's kind of cool. So like when they're born as completely indistinguishable. They're originally born as looking exactly the same. Both males and females look the same. But at one point or another, the males stop growing and the females just continue growing. And they eventually become that. I like that idea. This male's not grown females reminds me of woodcrafters for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember anything about the woodcrafters that is like that. Love the weird pimple baby having bowling. The weird pimple baby having bowling balls. Good lads. They view humans as gods when they meet us. I don't know if they ever meet humanity. I mean, they might. I don't know anything about their history yet, but it makes sense that they would view like whatever race finds them that comes down from the ice. It makes sense that they would view that as sort of a holy figure. A world created in the middle of the ice. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Henny. Like, as in, like, this is a world. It's a frozen ocean. So they live inside of the water underneath a big sheet of ice. No, I said the religious people don't want to get above the ice because it would be seen as blasphemous to think there's anything up there. So zealots are against anyone trying to dig up. I feel like there could probably be two groups, like one group that one religious group that wants to get above the ice and one religious group that doesn't, but they believe in the same thing. They believe something's up there, but just one of them doesn't think they're worthy of going up there. How about they make little cars and act like internet satellites above the ice? Wait, so they think these little moles are like reincarnated sophins? I imagine the little mole things would probably be seen as like the stereotypical image of an angel in their society would probably be those little mole boys. Because those are like the closest things to heaven. So like we have little babies with wings and they have molefish. And that's how they represent angels in their society. We got my boy KYTY animator or animation. My bad. He's in the chat and he's a cool guy. He has a like weird sci-fi elves on his channel. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, go look at his stuff. KYTY animation. So I'm gonna just start drawing what the males might look like, and then honestly, I kind of think we have enough to get started. So that's what we'll probably just. I think we'll just. I'll draw what the males look like, and then we'll end the stream, and then we'll continue the discussion on my Discord server. Do they have guns? I don't think so, because guns wouldn't be very effective underwater. So does that mean they have a version of God? What does it look like? I don't know yet. I mean, they don't necessarily have a version of God. They have a version of heaven, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have a version of God, necessarily. They probably do, but I don't know for sure. So males, since it's the male's shell that the babies develop in, the males obviously also have to have a shell, right? So we'll start off with that shell, and I think it would probably, and I do like the idea of when the babies are born, they're indistinguishable from each other. So we have to have the males, and then the males just stop growing at some point, and the females keep growing, and that's how you know that one's a male. So we have to have some kind of but should it just look like maybe the males? So maybe they have some kind of metamorphosis that they go through, and then the females go through that metamorphosis, and the males don't. They just keep getting bigger, but they never change. So the females have like a larval stage, essentially, where they look like something else, and then they metamorphosize into this thing, and the males never go through that metamorphosis. They just become a bigger larva. For the record, I did not ask him to call me. My boy Everett is calling Webb a dirty liar. Thank you for keeping the record straight, Everett. Unbelievable. He left. My brother Webb left to talk to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is in the chat, and she's saying that he never had to do that. Can you believe this? Give them indomitable human spirit, except they are very domitable because they are small. Unbelievable. Short kings. They are absolutely short kings. An outrage, right? Tell me about it. Would that mean older males would produce more children? Yeah, probably so, because their shells would be bigger, so they'd be able to fit more embryos inside of it. Yeah, I think bigger males would probably produce more children. Honestly, the larvae would probably be really simple, like kind of like just a snail, a little bit. Because the larva, and that fact, the male is basically, all the males have to do, all the males need is a method of transportation, a way to suction onto the female's shell, an eye, and like something to break the shell with, I guess. Okay. I have returned. What is occurring? So basically, these are alien fish that live underneath an ocean that's covered in ice. The females are these giant, well, actually not giant, they're about the size of a human hand, but they're these relatively bigger squid things inside of these donut shells. And then the males are little snail boys that I'm going to draw now. So it needs some function of latching onto the shell. So I'm just going to give it like a foot, like a snail foot, basically. And then it has an eye still. Honestly, I kind of think that's it. It's a really simple design for them, but I kind of think that's all it needs to be, you know? That's a really weird angle, so I'm going to draw a better angle for them. But yeah, let's draw a better angle for them real quick.
Oh, so would males be like would be seen like wine, like being stored until they are ripe enough to be used? That's
Yeah, I think so. As much as I hate that, like that phrasing and that honestly, just the idea. But that's the idea that I introduced into the conversation, so I can't be too mad. And that's kind of it. There we go. That's the male. He's itty bitty. He's honestly, like, this is probably like a relatively large male too. I don't like how that looks, this right here. So I'm going to kind of change that. Okay, there we go.
And does the bioluminescent ink make their language? If so, it makes sense for they to be super religious. Yeah. I think it makes sense for basically anything to be super religious. I don't think we really need to put too much in their biology to be like, and this one is especially religious. They could just use glue with the teeth. What?
Just use glue. I assume he's talking about how they fix themselves to the shell. And yeah, they would probably just have like a kind of biological adhesive.
Oh, they're just little guys. Yeah, they're itty bitty, dude. That's all they're meant to be. Hey, Cree, did you already figure out how they get rid of waste? Why not say they don't know it themselves? It's a good idea.
It's one of life's great mysteries. Honestly, this is gonna be kind of gross. But what if, like, everybody keeps talking about ink that they could use to communicate, and like, what if the ink is their waste product? And that's also how they communicate. It's kind of gross. I might not do that, but it's an interesting idea. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Someone had said something about 3 sexes. Okay, so the third acts as the glue for the males and the females to attach. Do they domesticate anything? Shit talking. Literal shit talking. Maybe the males kind of look like a remora fish. I think, yeah, that's basically, they just latch onto the female. And they probably also have, probably like in the middle here, they probably have like a little opening here where a giant like blade comes out. This is gonna look bad, but it's because it is. And this giant blade is used to penetrate the female's shell. And then it just kind of dissolves, and like the female basically just absorbs them, and then uses the shell as a womb. Do they domesticate anything? Again, I think they're going to be like the tool breeders from All Tomorrows, where they, basically all of their technology is biological stuff that they've bred into, you know, like a biological. It's like if they have a gun, then it's just like an animal that already shot projectiles, and they just made it way, way stronger. You know, like stuff like that. The iron slugs, remember? Yeah, so, and then someone earlier was talking, I think it was probably my boy T-Droid. Hey girl, you look good tonight, and then they just stab her. Yeah. What are the shells made of? The shells are just made of bone. They're just regular bone stuff. So they grow at the same rate as the rest of the slug does. And then someone was talking earlier about like those, they can get metal from those little like bacteria and stuff that collects iron for like a protective shield. Kind of like those snails in real life, those like iron covered snails in real life that use it as a defensive mechanism. And they could collect iron from those guys, which makes sense, but I don't think their technology, they probably have like iron swords, like swords that are just made of metal and forged from like the geothermal vents. But I don't think they have like metal machines. I think all their machines are biological. So the male's blade is retractable, right? Yeah, it is. The male's blade like goes up into its shell when it's not in use. These creatures would say, "Oh, worm," unironically. Ooh, skeletony? More like Tony. Or should we give them a female name? So, okay, in case anybody's new here, I am kind of curious how many people are new here, actually. But in case anybody's new here, so at this point in the stream, like I'm done designing the creature, right? Like this is the basic body plan. We have that covered. We have that figured out. Now we're on to the world building stage. We already have a little bit of world building stuff figured out, but we're properly onto the world building phase, which is going to happen in my Discord server. I'll switch over to the Discord server on the stream. Okay. Discord server is right here. There is a, you can see it right there, the world building / lore channel. We'll be discussing everything. We'll be discussing the rest of this world building process. We'll be discussing that in the world building thread. If you aren't part of the Discord server, there is a link inside of there's a link inside of the video description. I'm going to put a fresh link in there just to make sure it's not an expired one. But there's a link inside of the description of this video. So go to the Discord server, join the Discord server, and then you'll be able to be part of the world building process for the rest of this. But I bring that up now because we always give, by the time the actual video comes out, I've given them an actual alien name. But in the meantime, we just need a temporary name. So we have something to call them while we're generating the lore. So I kind of like the idea of Tony, but I do think they should have a female name. Like, what ideas do we have for their temporary name? Give them to me. What are they eating? Coral reef stuff. I don't know. What are the machines are a mixture of biological and metal? That sounds pretty cool. Like, so like the blender blades and stuff are metal, but the motor is just an animal. That's really cool. I like that idea. I guess Reginald was on. Is there a feminine version of Reginald? Because if there's a feminine version of Reginald, that would be awesome. I think we should go with that. Feminine version of Reginald name. Okay. Oh, I do like Regina. Regina. Reginette. I do like Bertha too, though. Okay, it's going to be Tony. Tony with an I is a gender neutral name. I like that one too, though. I just had the idea that they have something that they have for a mantis shrimp type animal for a gun. I like that idea. Okay, it's going to be either Regina or it's going to be Bertha. Give me, what do you guys want? Do they invent spaghetti? Like, do they convergently evolve Italians? Absolutely, they do. So I'm seeing a lot of Berthas right now. I'm seeing a lot of Reginas too, actually. My boy Soda Chip saying Regina. My boy Crestfallen is saying Regina. It's kind of just T-Droid saying Bertha a lot, actually, now that I'm looking at it again. Mean Girls of the Sea. Bertha Gina. Oh, I'm seeing more Berthas now. I'm seeing a lot of Berthas. Okay, it's going to be Bertha. They're going to be called Bertha. End of story. They're Bertha. So yeah, if you want to be part of the Discord server, then go to... Oh, shoot, we got a lot of people in the Discord server already. That's exciting. We got the Lizard Men, we got Busy Bee, we got Red Alchemy, we got Koji 9000, we got Newt, we got my boy Newt, and we got a Stranger Danger. I don't think I should be introducing the Stranger Danger with such open arms. Okay, there we go. Now, real quick, I'm just gonna do one more thing, and then we'll end the video here. If you want to be included, so while I'm making this video, while I'm working on the video, I will try and keep you guys regularly updated. But I don't want to be putting like at everyone chats all the time. So I'll try and put everybody that's actually interested in the same role, so I can just do like at Bertha, right? So everybody that wants to be regularly updated on the current lore of this. Of these aliens, put Bertha in the world building chat. At Bertha. All right. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume that everybody that joined from the stream is going to be interested in that as well. Okay, we got lots of Berthas. Bertha, okay? My boy Valdeshark is 100% instead and wants to be updated. Bertha is life. Bertha is love, dude. We love Bertha and her useless boy toys. Bertha is ball, Bertha. So yeah, also just so you guys know,
I'm gonna try to, if you like submit fan art of Bertha and her boy toys, then I will try and put it in the video. If like I'll put it inside of the end card if nothing else. But if you want it to be inside of the video itself, then try making it like canon and like an illustration that's of a specific part of the canon lore, and then I'll be able to use that as part of the video instead of having to draw that scene myself, right? So, LMAO, why must I be so dyslexic? Dude, me too, though. But that's why, but I like that idea of fan art. Kind of like if you guys have seen Alien Biospheres, kind of the same thing that he does in those videos. But that's why I want the Bertha thing, is because I want to be able to like very regularly update you guys on what the current lore is, what the current canon lore is, so you guys can make illustrations that reflect what the lore actually is and not just what the lore was 2 days ago. You know what I mean? I will make my iron slugs. Okay. Bertha and her boy toys. That's funny. Bertha and the boy toys sounds like a band. It absolutely does. Dyslexia is awesome. I have never met a dyslexic person who isn't a legend. That's so true, though. All the dyslexic people I know are like my favorite people. Same with like ADHD. I love people with ADHD. They're so much fun. Wait, iron shells? So they are females? The men don't have iron shells. The men just have bone shells. But you know what? I'll give it to you. Okay. So that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm gonna make a Bertha. I'm gonna make a Bertha roll, so I'll be able to regularly update you guys. And yeah, there we go. Bye.